Good evening to all the wonderful students and parents who have joined in. I believe there are a couple of more students and parents joining in, but since we are already 4 minutes past our time, we shall begin with the webinar. So my name is Pooja Mahat. I'm one of the senior counselors with OneApply by Gyanberry. We are OneApply, a technology-enabled platform through which you can apply to 4+ universities spread across 15 different destinations. So to begin with, I would like to say that, whenever it comes to students applying to different universities abroad, they usually, tend to stick with the safe option. So already, probably they would like to apply to countries where they already have students, the friends in, or, would like to stick with the countries where they have information for, because they don't want to take the risk. But if we go through this process, there might be some key destinations that you might miss out on, which could be profitable for you. So with today's session, we are going to be talking about and highlighting you all, or enlightening you all with some key reasons as to why you must pick Germany as your preferred destination to study abroad. So let's look into some popular reasons. First of all, many of the universities, we have around 15 universities in Germany that rank in the top 200 worldwide. Majority of the universities in Germany have a plethora of courses that you can choose from. Germany also stands in the fourth largest in the world. So after US, China, Japan, Germany comes in the fourth ranking when it comes to the strongest economy in the world. And apart from that, studying in Germany can, usually sometimes when it comes to Germany, students have, feel that they have to learn the language and they don't have English taught programs offered, but that's not true. If you are someone who is, who doesn't like to learn languages and who would like to study in Germany, but in English, you have around 1,500 plus study programs available for you that you can choose to apply to any of these universities. Another main reason for studying in Germany is that all of the universities, especially the public universities, are completely zero tuition fees. So what the government has done is to promote higher education among its people in Germany. They have, literally offered education in zero tuition fees. And this benefit is offered not only by the local students, but also by the international students who opt and, apply at public universities. So this is one of the most attractive points for international students when it comes to studying in Germany. Apart from that, of course, no doubt, the quality of education that many of the German universities, be it public or private university, that is much on a higher side, and they come with high quality education as well as high collaborations with other industries, giving you numerous internship opportunities available. Apart from studying in English and zero tuition fees, they also come along with other advantages like an opportunity to learn a new language, because students usually want to study abroad due to the international exposure that they get from studying abroad. And part of the international exposure is meeting with other people, knowing meeting and interacting and learning new cultures, and meeting with people from different ethnicities. So this is something that you can very well do if you apply to Germany, as well as learn a new language, which will look really good in your profile. Okay. Apart from that, the German universities have a very strong connection with industries. Like I mentioned, they offer numerous internship opportunities, be it in research, be it in technological fields or medicine. And I think Germany is the only such country in Europe where they have a lot of neighboring countries like Netherlands, Poland, Luxembourg, Belgium, Austria, Switzerland, etc. So you can go to study in Germany. You are in the center of Europe, so you have a lot of countries accessible to you. Easy connectivity if you want to travel and visit these countries during your summer breaks. That's completely possible. And last but not the least, one most attractive feature or a reason that students usually opt for Germany is the flexibility and the PR opportunities or the post-study opportunities available to international students. So any student planning to go and pursue their bachelor's or their master's in Germany must be aware that you get around 18 months payback option after your completion of your education or after your graduation, which allows you to get an EU blue card or a resident card. And then after you have got a permanent job and worked at least for 2 years, you are eligible to apply for a permanent residency, which is very easy and very smooth for you to apply for. So I believe I've given you enough reasons to study in Germany, and I hope I have generated the interest among you all by listing out the most popular reasons. Moving along, the diagram in front of your screens addresses the different industries and the total turnover that they make in each year. Now, obviously, many of us, when it comes to when we talk about Germany, we always, think of automobile industries, because why not? We have BMW, we have Mercedes, which is manufactured in Germany, but we must not ignore that there are other industries like healthcare industries, information technology, mechanical and plant engineering, chemical, pharmaceuticals, and electrical, which also are equally in demand and equally booming industries in Germany. So, referring to my previous slide, these are the most popular programs that students, when they're applying to Germany, they're looking for these programs. Again, for all the students whose programs are not on the screen, please be assured that you can contact one of the counselors with OneApply who can help you through the right university according to your preferences. So please do not be upset if you don't find your program on the screen. Germany has scope for everyone who is everyone and anyone for any kind of program that you're looking at. Again, it will vary what kind of program you're looking at. The tuition fees may vary or the language of instruction may vary. Next, let's look into some types of higher education available in Germany. So many years before, Germany had polytechnic institutes and universities. Then they eventually evolved and they got three different segregations of universities. One is a technical university, the other one is University of Applied Sciences, and third one is University of Arts and Music. The difference is just that technical universities, their main goal is to promote innovation through research and scientific techniques. So for all the students who are interested in getting into research or anything related to the scientific techniques, you can opt for a technical university. And we have put up an example of Technical University of Munich, which is one of the top TU9s in Germany. I'm sure everybody might be aware of this university, followed by University of Applied Sciences. So if you are someone who really likes practice-oriented approach, and if you're someone who is looking for industry-ready programs, then you must opt for a University of Applied Sciences, because in the case of University of Applied Sciences, they're making students more industry-ready, so that once they graduate, they're able to catch hold, land a job very quickly. So we have FH Aachen University of Applied Sciences as an example. And last, is for all the creative artistic minds, all the students interested for university, any kind of artistic programs, performing arts, design, they can look into applying to a University of Arts and Music. And the example we've given is HBKSM. They have several programs related to design. So I hope this clarifies everyone's understanding on the three different kinds of universities that Germany has to offer to international students. Moving ahead, now in my previous slide, I have mentioned public and private universities several times. So I would like to just briefly distinguish between the two university options. First, a public university is a university which is funded by the government. That's why their tuition fees are zero. They do not take any tuition fees. They may take a minimum semester fee, which will vary from university to university. But apart from that, there is no tuition fees. Maximum of the courses that are offered by the public universities are completely taught in German language. Yes, there are some universities that may offer English, but the majority of the universities offer German taught programs. And of course, they're very highly competitive because they're free. Everybody wants to try their luck. Everybody wants to apply to universities. That's why the requirements, the admission requirements for the universities are pretty competitive for public universities. And the international collaboration that the public universities have is limited. The reason they have a limited international collaboration is only because these are government universities and the government's main focus is German economy. So when they are training and preparing students and making them industry ready, they are making them industry ready for the German economy, not for the international economy. That is the difference. And in terms of part-time and post-study work permit, it is the same when it comes to public and private. However, on the other side, when it comes to private universities, they are not offered free of cost. You have to pay a minimum tuition fees between 10 to 15,000 euros at least. And the programs that you get offered in the private universities, in majority of the cases, are completely in English. So private university is an ideal option for any students who really love Germany as a destination, but want to study in English. And of course, they're less competitive, not less competitive because they have a lower quality. They're just less competitive because there is the total number of students applying to private universities are lesser in number in comparison to a public university. And in terms of international collaboration, private universities have a vast network of international collaborations that students can take advantage of. They have Erasmus programs where students get the opportunity to study one semester out of their 3 years in any other university in a different country, giving you experience of 2 different countries and 2 different exposures. And last but not the least, when it comes to part-time jobs, it is the same. You can work up to 20 hours per week during your study period. And on summer breaks, it can go up to 40 hours per week. And then for post-study work permit, it's not going to affect if you go to a private or a public. Either ways, you get an 18-month stay back work permit, which is an advantage. And they have equal accreditations as public universities. So that is the differences for public and private universities for you. Now, I would like to call upon Mr. Tejas to take ahead the next few slides so that he can enlighten you all on a little bit in terms of admission requirements.
Right. Thank you, Pooja, and good evening, everyone. Just taking a brief break here so that we can regather our thoughts. Thank you, Pooja, for all the amazing information. I think by now, all of you must be super interested as to, making up your mind, how should I apply to German universities? What are the admission requirements? What are the deadlines? What are the fees like? Don't worry, I'm going to cover all of that. So firstly, I'm going to cover some information about requirements for the bachelor's applicants, students who are currently in the high school or have finished their high school. So you can see the flowchart in front of you. It may look overwhelming, but if you start from the top, things can get simple for you. So any student who is applying to Germany for undergraduate or bachelor's program, they need to meet minimum academic qualification, which is equivalent to the German Abitur, which is the German high school diploma. So firstly, students need to assess whether they have the minimum academic qualification or not. So let's first look at the right side, which is no, that if you do not meet the academic qualification, what happens? So students whose high school diploma is not eligible for year 1 entry, they typically need to do a Studienkolleg. It is a German name for a preparatory program or a foundation program, which prepares you to get into the year 1 of universities. So once you finish your Studienkolleg, you will do a test called as Feststellungsprüfung, FSP, which is your ticket or sort of the entry criteria qualification to get into the year 1 of German universities. So that's how your path will be if you do not meet the academic qualification. If you wish to check If you meet the requirements or not meet the requirements, you can get in touch with any of the OneApply counselors, and we have a service wherein we assess whether you are eligible or not eligible. There are different conditions and rules for different curriculums, high school curriculums. Now, let's look at the left side, wherein if you meet the high school requirements to get into the year one of the university, right? So which means you have cleared the difficult part, which is meeting the academic qualification. Then comes the language requirements. The language requirements depend on the language of instruction of the program. So for example, if the program is taught in English, as Ms. Pooja has mentioned, there are more than 1,500 programs available 100% in English, right? So those programs do not require you to learn German language. I repeat, English taught programs do not require you to learn the German language. You need to show your proficiency in English. You can show your proficiency in English by giving standardized tests such as the IELTS or the TOEFL exam. So if you have the test results from any of these, you will be eligible, to study at the university because you know the language and now you meet the minimum academic qualification. Right? In case the program is in German, it's common sense that your language of instruction by the teachers, by the faculty is going to be in German. So they expect you to know German beforehand. So in that case, the students are required to learn the German language, which is up to the C1 level. I will cover that in the next slides about the level of the languages. You complete the German language, achieve the certification, and then you're good to go and join the desired program. Now let's look at the requirements for the master's program, if you wish to apply to any of the master's program. Pooja, may I request you to move to the next slide? Right. So for master's program, there are again certain conditions and requirements, but pretty much in line with the undergraduate requirements. So firstly, to apply for master's, it's a common sense that you should have a bachelor's degree. In Germany, it is even more important to have a bachelor's degree in relevant discipline. For example, if I want to apply for master's in automobile engineering, it makes sense that I have my undergraduate in mechanical engineering or even a bachelor's in automobile engineering, right? So German universities give importance to what you have studied in your previous education. So especially for masters, the master's programs are quite specialized and quite focused on certain area of expertise. So they expect you to have a strong foundation, basics covered in your undergraduate. One good thing about Germany is they accept 3 years undergraduate degree. Yeah, a lot of students who apply to USA may have encountered this problem that US universities typically requires a 4-year undergraduate degree to be eligible for master's program. But in Germany, since the undergraduate degree itself is for 3 years, they accept degrees from countries which are of 3 years. Say, for example, if you have done Bachelor of Commerce or BBA, Bachelor of Business Administration program, which is only for 3 years, you are eligible to apply for master's in Germany. You don't have to do a foundation year. Since German universities are competitive because of the attractiveness of the fees, most of the public universities don't charge fee. There is a huge competition. And for that, the universities take only the best candidates, especially for the master's program, there's a huge competition. So they expect you to have good GPA. The requirement of GPA or your percentage of grades depends on university to university, course to course. So I cannot go into detail of that, but in general, I can tell you that you should maintain at least first class. If you have a distinction, you will have a really good chance. Some courses may also require you to have prior work experience. The best example being the MBA. The top MBA programs in Germany, they expect you to have at least 1 to 2 years of prior work experience in a corporate setting, right? So that you can relate more with the theoretical concepts in the class. Another thing about GRE and GMAT, most of the students associate GRE or GMAT with US admissions or to a certain extent Canada admissions. But GRE and GMAT is also accepted by several German universities, especially for competitive programs. For example, there is a program for automobile engineering and the university has 100 seats and they get 200 applications. And out of those, say 110 students have the same GPA. Suppose all the 110 students have first class in their undergraduate program. What is the differentiator between them? How the university can differentiate? That's where the standardized tests like the GRE comes into the picture. And if those candidates who have a higher percentile in the GRE, they might stand a better chance. And this is again for competitive programs. GRE and GMAT as such is not required by many universities, but if you have, it could help you in the application for several programs in Germany. But again, it's not a mandatory requirement. You will find a lot of universities which does not require at all GRE or GMAT. And again, you need to prove your language proficiency. If the program is in English, you need to have either the IELTS results or TOEFL results. Typically in IELTS, you should have at least 6.5. And in TOEFL, they expect you to have at least 89 or 90 plus score out of the 120. And if you're applying for a program which is 100% in German or partially in German, the universities will expect you to have at least B1, B2 if the program is partially in German, or they will expect you to have C1 or C2 level of German if the program is entirely taught in German language. Now let's look at the levels of the German language. I have been talking about C1 and the B1 levels, but this slide will give you a much better picture of how the German language is comprised of. The basic of German language starts with the A1 level, which is nothing but the beginner's level. For anyone who doesn't even know an alphabet or any syntax or grammar of German, start with the A1 level. And thereupon you build to the next level. So after A1, you do the A2, then B1, B2, C1, and C2. And every level of German language, if you study full-time, by full-time, I mean 3 to 4 hours of study every day, you should be able to complete one level typically in 2 months. So if you wish to complete A1 to C2, you're looking at least 10 months to complete the entire levels of German language, and it can take up to 12 months. But again, it depends on the intensity of the German language course. Okay, so if you wish to apply for a program which is 100% in German, typically you should aim for C1. There could be some universities maybe even asking for C2. But nevertheless, if you're anyway going to Germany, we always recommend students that from your home country, at least learn the A1 language so that when you reach the country, you can at least have a conversation with the local people. If you go to a grocery store or if you have to speak to any German person, an old German guy, he might be able to converse only in German. Right? So it is recommended that you do A1 from your home country, at least for your day-to-day skills, but the actual requirements of the German language will depend on the course and the university that you're applying to. Now let's differentiate between a Studienkolleg and a language school. A lot of students we have seen get confused between different types of preparatory schools that exist in Germany. And again, this is for both undergraduate as well as for postgraduate applicants. So Studienkollegs, as I mentioned in the previous slide, they are the institutes which prepare you to get into university. That's your goal. So they provide you all the preparation required to get into the university, academic as well as language preparation. Okay, so some curriculums, for example, the Indian, Arabic, or Sabi's curriculum, we have seen they are not qualified for year 1 entry. So again, it depends student to student, but this is our majority of the experience. So they end up doing the Studienkolleg and then they're eligible to join the university. Studienkollegs may provide you a guaranteed progression. Some Studienkollegs have a contract with certain set of universities. So you will not have any anxiety or worry what will happen once I complete my Studienkolleg program. Will I get an admission into university or not? So this is something that it depends on the Studienkolleg. So there are guarantees as well as non-guaranteed Studienkolleg options. To get into Studienkolleg, a German language may be required or not required. It again depends on the language of instruction of the Studienkolleg. Some Studienkollegs will require you to have at least B1 or B2 level of German language. So again, it depends. There are Studienkollegs which are completely in English, so they might ask you only English language proficiency. And there are numerous private Studienkollegs as well as government-funded Studienkollegs. So if you go for a government-funded Studienkolleg, they're typically only in German language. They will require you to know B2 level of German, but the advantage is it will be free of charge. And at the same time, there are paid Studienkolleg which do not require any German language to join and may give you a guaranteed progression as well. So you have to weigh your options and see what is in your best interest. On the other side, language schools, to be simply put, they prepare you to acquire the German language skills. As I mentioned in the previous slides, you need to have different levels of German language. So it depends on the program that you're applying for. German language schools can prepare you right from A1 up to C1 or C2. If you know already A1 or A2 from your home country, you can travel to Germany to a language school and they will prepare you for B1 and B2. Again, which track you should take, Studienkolleg or language school, you can contact the OneApply counselors and they will guide you very well on what option you should go for. Again, the German language schools do not provide you any progression, right? Their objective is to give you the German language skills, but they typically cannot guarantee you an admission into any university, right? Neither they do have any prior tests required. You can just simply pay the fees and get the admission letter from a language school and join. And most of the language schools are paid. So typically a language school may charge you from 500 euro up to 2,000 euro per German language level. So it depends on how many levels you want to study and you can calculate the price. Right, now let's deep dive into the types of Studienkollegs. This is again very important thing. So as I mentioned, Studienkollegs prepare you for the university, right? So Studienkollegs are divided, rather the Studienkolleg courses are divided based on what you wish to study at the university. So M course typically are for students who want to study in the field of biology, medicine, or pharmacy, right? So and you want to go for general medicine program, dentistry programs, you need to opt for a Studienkolleg M course in case you're not eligible for year 1 entry of medicine, right? Again, this is for students who are not eligible for year 1. Then there's a T course. T stands for technical. So if you're applying, say, for engineering program or pure sciences program, you will have to take up a T course. Then there is a W course, which is for students who are applying for business or economics, finance, accounting related program, or even social studies related program. And lastly, there is a G course, which is mostly for social studies or for humanities studies. Say, for example, if you want to study philosophy or education or even law, you need to opt for the G Studienkolleg course. And these courses are typically for 1 year. It's very important to know. So after your high school, you're doing this course for 1 year. And after that, your undergraduate study will be typically for 3 years. Right. So I want to give you an example of a very, very popular Studienkolleg program, which is called as the Freshman Institute at FH Aachen University of Applied Sciences. I specifically want to talk about it because it's an amazing program. Okay. So firstly, FH Aachen University runs this program. FH Aachen, by the way, is the #1 applied sciences university in Germany. And they run this program called as the Freshman Program, which is intended only for international students, right? Not for German citizens. This is for international students who do not know the German, who do not qualify for year 1 entry into Germany, and on top of that, who want a guaranteed admission at a German university. And FH Aachen exactly provides you that. So they have a direct progression to University of Duisburg, which is a research university. As Pooja mentioned, research universities are focused on innovation. And they also have a progression to their own university, which is the FH Aachen University, which is again an applied science, more practical, application-based university. So students can choose between both of them. Okay. And admission to the Studienkolleg is not based on language proficiency, neither is based on your high school grades. It's based on a simple entrance exam, which is consisting of maths and English. And OneApply is exclusively conducting this entrance exam in the UAE for students who are residing in UAE, and also for students who are residing across the GCC countries and even for India, they can also opt for this examination. So if you pass the examination, you will have a guaranteed progression to the Freshman Institute. You will study there for 1 year and you will have a guaranteed progression to one of the below mentioned universities. Okay, you don't need to know IELTS, you don't need to know prior German language. The university is going to teach you that. If you opt for a program which is entirely in English, they're going to teach you everything in English. Even your freshman program is going to be in English, but at the same time, they will teach you basic conversational German. If you opt for a program which is completely in German, don't worry, they're going to teach you the German right from A1 into the freshman program. Okay, so you'll have the language study, and also you'll have academic study based on the specialization that you are opting for. Suppose you apply for mechanical engineering, you're going to study advanced physics, advanced maths, advanced calculus. those kind of subjects, and they will fully prepare you to get into the first year of university. the freshman program is a paid program, but the university itself, the undergraduate program, are absolutely free of charge. You do not pay anything during your undergraduate studies, but you pay for the freshman program. So this is just one option. So you can imagine like the possibilities that might exist in other student colleges, but this one being the most popular because of easy entry requirements, for guaranteed progression, and plus for its affordability, right? So this is like a no miss. You should definitely give this a try. Now let's talk about the important aspect, which is the deadlines and tuition fees. Okay, so let's little bit deep dive into the deadlines. So if you're applying to German state public universities, they typically close by the 15th of July for the September intake. Okay, there might be some private universities which might have different deadlines, but typically state, national, public universities close by the mid of July. If you can't meet this deadline, then you will have to apply for the following semester, which typically starts in February, and their deadlines are somewhere between mid of November to mid of December. If you apply to student college deadlines are also around June and July. Again, it depends on which student college you're applying. For example, for FH Aachen, the applications are open around the year. If you apply for a state student college, say in TU Munich, they close by the mid of July. Okay, so it depends which student college you're applying to. If you apply to language schools, we typically recommend you to apply by May for the September intake so that you have enough time for the visa process. But language schools have intakes every 2 months. So do not worry. Anytime you approach us, we will be able to give you a language school study option. For students who are applying for master's studies, okay, usually this deadline, what is mentioned here, March 2023, is for top universities. There could be some private universities, they might be still open as we speak. So they might close by the end of April or end of May. So once you contact us, we will be able to tell you which all universities are still open for September 2023. But if you're applying for 2024, you have ample of time to prepare everything. Now let's talk about the fees. As Pooja already emphasized a lot in previous slides that, public universities in Germany have zero tuition fee, and that's absolutely true, right? And that's one of the big attractions for students, that they can study at top-ranked university and absolutely at no cost. Having said that, you need to be aware that public universities require students to have a semester contribution towards the examination and some basic charges. It could be from 200 euro up to 1500 euro per semester, right? Again, that is nothing as compared to a lot of other countries. If you apply to private universities, the fees can be in the range of 10,000 to 18,000 euros per year. Again, it depends state to state, uni to uni, course to course. And if you apply to non-state funded student colleges, their fees are between 10,000 to 20,000 euros per year. But if you go for a public student college, there is absolutely no fee. But majority of the international students, they opt for private student college because of the ease of entry, because of no prior German language requirement. And language school, as I mentioned, it can start from 2,000 euro per level. It can go to as high as 500 euro, for 5,000 euro per level. So it depends on, again, the size of the institute, the location of the institute, the quality of the course. There can be variable factors. Since we're talking about cost, I also want to mention about the living cost in Germany, which is very important. So especially for parents who are planning the budgets. So in Germany, typically you need to have at least 10,000 euro per annum, right, as your budget towards funding your child to live in Germany, to manage his day-to-day expenses for his books and everything. So 10,000 euros should be a good amount for them to live a good life, a good student life in Germany. So a living cost plus the tuition fee cost. So that's how you can budget. Right. Now that we have given you all the reasons why you should study in Germany, what are the admission requirements, deadlines, fees, everything that you should know about. Now, we want to talk a bit about how you can engage with OneApply and allow us to help you to get into a German university. So for that, I will pass on to Pooja again, who will take you through quickly as to how you can work together with us.
Thank you very much, Tejas. I really hope all the students feel more confident about applying to Germany after your elaboration on the requirements. With regards to OneApply, of course, this is a one-stop solution for all the students, like I was highlighting initially. We will be assisting you from end-to-end services, all the way from initially counseling and understanding your requirements, be it your budget requirements, your grade requirements, or your preferences in terms of location. And then based on these information, and we will conduct an eligibility check, which is going to allow us to further assess if you are eligible to apply, and if you're not eligible to apply, then what key factors can be taken into account, or what other backup options you could apply to. If you are eligible to apply, we will then do a university planning where our admission experts are going to be conducting a research and getting you a list of universities available in Germany that you are eligible to apply to. We will assist you with document checklist, application submission, reviewing of documents, following up with the university until you get the admission decision. Final admission decision is received, we will be helping you with the offers and all. And after that, we will also be assisting you with study visa application. So all the way end-to-end services is what you're going to get advantage from OneApply by Gyanberry. And these are some of the popular University of Applied Sciences, as well as some of the popular technical universities that some of you might already be aware of, especially the students who are looking at Germany and who are aiming to go and study there. You will see some popular options like TU Munich, KIT, University, Berlin Institute of Technology, in under the technical university options, and then under the University of Applied Sciences, you'll find FH Aachen University of Applied Sciences, Bochum University of Applied Sciences, Technology of Arts and Sciences, etc. So again, I would like to re-emphasize, you are not having a limited option to focus on. You have a vast variety of options available. You just have to contact one of the counselors with OneApply who can help you with the next steps. We also have, we've also begun with an initiative called Super Mentor, where you can speak and connect with students who are currently successfully studying in Germany. So if you want to get it, a first-hand experience, you want to speak with a student who has gone through the exact same situation as you can go onto our website, click on the Super Mentor tab and book a personalized session with one of the super mentors. We have several students studying in Germany. We have students studying from different nationalities, and they're studying in different universities. Some of them are in the technical university and some of them are in the University of Applied Sciences. So you can opt to speak with one of them based on your requirement. Last but not the least, if you do wish to know specific details about studying in Germany, especially in terms of admission requirements, you can very well visit us on our visit us on the website or contact us on WhatsApp or number, or you can also book a one-on-one session through our website to have a more intimate meeting. And these are the contact details that you can take a note of in order to get in touch with us. So we have our WhatsApp number, our calling number, as well as the email. Feel free to reach us out in any way that's comfortable for you.